What's up, Trader's Edge? It's Mark Sebastian, your only option, with a look at two big earnings. We're going to be looking at Meta and we're going to be looking at Apple. These are two huge earnings that are coming up, and we're going to break them down right now. So let's dig in. All right, folks. Now, before I begin, this is your last chance to join me in my election special opportunity. I'm going to be executing my trade on Wednesday. Maybe you'll be able to get in Thursday before noon, but after that, I think the opportunity is going to be gone. So time is of the essence. Let's take a look. Let's start by just previewing what they're looking for out of Meta. Meta is up first. They report on the 30th after the bell. That's Wednesday. Huge up day on Tuesday. Rallied, $14, up another $5 after the bell on the back of Google's earnings. Google reported great earnings. They beat in YouTube. They beat in cloud. They beat in search, just about across the board. Google had really nice earnings. So going into their earnings, normally Meta is looking for about a 6.5% move. They're pricing in a 7.4% move. If we look historically, over the last few quarters, it's been a mixed bag. You have a period where it was moving more than expected. That was 2022, late 2022 and early 2023. It was moving a lot. Then we had a couple where it didn't move. Couple where it moved more, and the last one they were looking for 8.2%. It moved 4. What I will say is that when you look at the implied move, when it's specifically kind of higher, that's when you get some of the more variable moves. When it's been lower, we had that one big up move, and we've had really not a lot beyond that. So I'm looking at the options and I'm telling you that these look pretty darn fairly priced. They're pricing in about a $46 move out of Meta. That's a pretty well priced move. I don't see a lot of great things here. With how parabolic this thing has been over the last year, these earnings are going to have to be perfect. My guess is coming out of the gate, it's going to be sitting at an all-time high. So the setup is for it to disappoint. That would be the base case. Do you want to play it that way? Maybe. But if I'm going to play it, I'm going to be using some sort of spread. The implied volatility on the downside is as such that you can spread it out relatively inexpensively, knowing that they're looking for $45 and it's trading about $5.95. I might set something up around $5.75, buying the $5.75 put, selling the $5.50 put. That looks like it's pricing itself about $8, $9. That's not terrible. I'd probably, knowing me, I'd probably use a butterfly or something along those lines. Next up is Apple. Now, Apple doesn't report until Thursday. They have really been in a rut when it comes to their earnings. It doesn't make wild, crazy moves. Hasn't made like a really outsized earnings move since October of 2022. Did have a nice move in May, but not, moved an extra 1.3%. Nothing like almost double like it did back then. And we haven't seen a really out of bounds move since July of 2020. Most of the moves lately have been underwhelming. So very rarely do I want to play something like an Iron Condor or something along those lines. But you could argue that Apple, which is pricing in, call it about a $7 move. I'm going to guess this one is going to move less than expected. But if it does move more than expected, I think it's going to be on the downside. And I know two different base cases. One, Meta is growing, but their earnings have been so good and the expectations are so high, they have to be perfect. Now, if they're perfect, that thing is going to have an NVIDIA-like explosion. Apple is sitting at just off its all-time high on revenue that really isn't growing in the same way. iPhone sales don't look as great. This is the one that I think could disappoint, but more likely, I think it's going to be a bit of a snoozer, and I would play it that way. I'd be looking to sell premium in some way, shape, or form. Like I said, maybe an iron condor. So there you have it, folks. That's how I'm playing Apple and Meta, how I'm looking at playing them, not necessarily playing them yet. Obviously, I like to wait until right before those earnings before I jump in, but I wanted to preview what they're looking at. All right, folks, if you've got another earnings that you want me to look at, leave a comment below in this YouTube video. Like and subscribe. Got a question? Feel free to call us 888-872-3301 or email us support@optionpit.com. I'm Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. I hope you have a good one.